Hey guys, I'm Corey. This is Make Shape Create, and this is the Shera month 40th anniversary supercut. This is damn near 2 hours of footage. I think it's an hour and 50 minutes or something like that. Might be a little shorter than that. Maybe an hour and 45. I forget. I'm still editing it. Regardless, this is a long video. So, if you don't want to watch the individual ones, you can check this out right here. It'll show you all of them. They are in chronological order. So, without further ado, check it out. We are going to do something, well, we're not doing something different. We're making a custom figure. We always do that. I want to make an anti-etheria Shera. So, we're going to do that by starting with just a regular old Shera. We are going to do some things a little different. With anti-etheria Heman, I have one here somewhere. Hold on. He is black, brown, and red. I mean, I guess it's actually maroon, but yeah. But he does not share the same colors as Shera originally. So to me, like standard He-Man. So to me, she should not go to the same colors as he does. So we're going to modify some stuff. Skin's still going to be black. The reds are going to stay red. The blonde is still going to go to that brown. But that's probably about it. The golds, I think I'm going to do copper. And the white, we're going to do, I think, red. And I think that might be it. I'm not sure. I might change some of that, but that's where I'm at right now. So, we're going to get this broken down and start painting, because that's really all you can do. So, this is going to be basically a repaint. Should go easy, but I'm really excited. So, let's get started. Okay, so this is boiling now. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pop these legs off because I don't need the center part dyed. And I'm going to just go ahead and paint the black on this once I get the others dyed, I think. I haven't decided yet. Anyway, let me pop these off real quick. So don't lose the hands, because these are tiny and I will lose them in there otherwise. Yeah, like I said, I think I'm just going to take a book out of there, or a page out of their book, and I'll just paint this to match. Because I'm going to be just dyeing paint at this point, because that's all paint anyway. So, I'm going back and forth on this cape, because part of me is like, no, you should leave it red. The other part of me is like, it might look cooler black. The good thing is, I have a bunch of these capes. So, I'm going to try dyeing one black and going from there. And if it doesn't work, like, again, I have another one, right? So that's what we're doing. some of these, because they're joints, we're going to need to spin and get the joints from a different angle, because otherwise they're still a little light. So we're going to go ahead and do that real quick. That part's done. Got everything thoroughly, or as thoroughly as we can anyway. That's what I mean. Yep, that's it. Go ahead and throw these back in. I know I'm missing one. There it is. Okay. Now the face on the hands, I'm not worried about the joints on the wrist because, well, actually, nope. If you're gonna do it right. Right. So get them too. The only thing it has not worked on so far is the weapons, which I kind of expected. I'm not throwing the boots and the tiara and all that stuff in here because I'm going with copper on them, so they don't really need to be black, so there's no point in doing that. Right. Don't remember, this is part of the chrome markers I got when I was doing the Leo Flying Fist He-Man for Tom from Spill a Geek Tea. If you do, I've been on a couple of his shows. If you do not watch or check them out or subscribe, you should go do that now. I will link the video where I got and tested these. I will have it right here on this card, and down in the description I'll have a link to Tom's thing. Otherwise, yeah. So that dyeing the cape, I think, was the right choice. The cool thing is that the gold straps, after you dye them, they actually kind of look a little copper. So that works out too. We might need to paint this lace, but it's darker, so it might work. I'm not sure if we're going to use the midriff one or not. I have it drying, or have it dyeing now, so we'll see. So, I've been kind of on the fence about the sparkle stick things. So, my original plan was I was going to try finding some black glitter stickers, black holographic stickers. And then as I looked, I could not find what I wanted. The closest thing I found was vinyl. So they were vinyl covered, but it was a vinyl paper down, but it wasn't what I wanted. I was talking to my mom about this. She suggested nail polish. Which, I'm going to be honest, I was not a fan of. I know Alice and Troy, but that's very expensive. That's how it is. I'm very different. So, we'll get back to that. We'll get back to so, we should be able to do multiple coats pretty freaking easy. So, let's see how this works. Alright guys, so this is Shera month, and we're going to make bow today. So, bow's been on my list for a while. I've been wanting to make them even before we got the announcement of the cartoon collection one. I'm not sure exactly when we're getting that, but supposedly we're getting it. So, we're going to start with these semi-random wrestling parts. We've already gotten them broken down most of the way. We just need to break them down a little more. We need to get some hot water so we can break these legs apart, get the lines off, get this dyed, and go from there. Okay, so I got all these legs apart now. I just did it all the way. We are going to use some just regular acetone and get all this black off. And then once we do that, Okay, so I'm trying to keep to the same skin tone because it makes my life easier. But for whatever reason, I only have one arm with a cuff for this side, so I'm going to have to do some pop and swap on this side. We're going to heat this up, and then I can, pop and swap it. And just like that, trying to do this backwards is really hard. Like, it's actually not that far off. I probably could let it slide. Like on camera, you can't even tell, really. But, yeah, I'm gonna hit it with something. I think even if I just did a wash of white on it, or tan or whatever, that'd probably be enough. But regardless, now I have 2 cuffed arms. So that part's done. So I need to make a bow, an actual bow for him to use. And I saw this, I think online, where somebody was using these picks for your teeth, and they were actually making it like a semi-real like bow out of it, like for like rubber bands or toothpicks or whatever. And that kind of is inspiring me. So I'm going to use these to make my bow, and then I'm just going to use one of the bamboo skewers to make an arrow for it. So, continuing with Shera month, we are going to make Impost-ra, which is a faker Shera. You knew I was going to make a faker. You had to know. There is only concept drawings of this. I will try to remember to put it up on the screen right now. She's basically, she's faker Shera. That's the easiest way to say it. This one, like the last couple, a lot of this is just going to be a repaint. I'm not sure if this is going to be a full video or short yet, but I'm filming it like it's a full video. So if you don't hear any of this, it will be because it's a short. So let's get this broken down and go from there. Okay, so just in case I couldn't get it up on the screen, this is what she looks like. The only thing we really have to add to this is the Hordak symbol on the front. Well, we had to do tape that too, but that's going to be simple. The rest of it is just repainting what's already here. So we need to modify her chest a little bit to get rid of her flower thingy thing, whatever the hell it is. And then I'm not sure if we're just going to sculpt a bat or whether we're going to just paint it on. Yeah, I haven't gotten that far yet. But I need to get this stuff sanded off first. Alright, so we can smooth, so how to smooth this out? There's a couple of different ways we could do that. I think the way I'm going to choose is just with a nail file and try to get that as smooth as I can. And like I said, a lot of it I'm going to go back over with a little bit of milliput, so that should be fine. we're going to go ahead and get everything we can put on these skewers like this. I don't know if I filmed any of that, to be honest. But basically, I'm just putting these all on skewers and taping the ones I can't put on skewers, so that way I can start getting these all painted. So, because we need to do the tape deck on the chest, that's what we got stickers for. So, that's what we're doing now. The most important thing I've learned about doing these stickers, have a sharp blade. Because otherwise, it's going to tear, you're going to be angry, and you're going to do it all over. So, just start with a good blade. Don't cut yourself. Start with a good blade, and you'll be much happier. Alright guys, so we are making a 2000X Shera. I know there's like a toy of this, and there's some concept art. I'm going to lean more towards the toy, because that's what we actually got. This is mainly going to be almost entirely this animated Shera. We're going to use some arms. I'm not sure on the cape yet. I'm leaning towards using the longer cape. Because that's what that had. This I'm really just using the boots. So this one should be pretty quick and pretty simple. So let's get to it. Okay, so this is what we're doing. So, like I said, I'm going to lean more towards the toy than the artwork. Although they're very similar. The only thing that's really different is this is more like movie Wonder Woman or Greek God skirt, and this is more like a regular skirt. And the boots. The boots are different. This is more like Tila's boots, which is why I grabbed those. The head's another thing. I'm leaning towards this one, but like those wings are so pronounced, it might be better to use this one. This is the one from the Masterverse Shera. This is obviously way bigger. But maybe this. Trim that out a little bit. Oh, I think that's going to be good. Okay, yep, that's what we're doing. We're doing regular Shera head with this. Let's get started. Super happy with that. Oh, that was not my original plan. Like, my original plan was I was just going with the animated Shera head, and that was going to be it. And this was just like a last minute idea that I'm so glad for. Don't stick to your plans too hard, guys. If you have a better idea, let it shine, because you get results like this. Alright, this stuff down here. The Filmation Shera already has a skirt that'll work perfectly. I just don't have this extra detail down here. Now, I could just paint it, but that's not fun. So, I think what I'm going to do is, I'm going to see if I can find some string or some wire, and maybe try to do all this, and then I'll just make that out of something. I haven't figured out what yet, but I'll make it out of something. Isn't that always a good plan? These are the wires I'm going to use. These are just a little thicker, but this is to one of the battery packs that I used for Laser Lake Skeletor. I'm not going to cut. I'm going to leave a little bit so that way I can still use this if I want to. We'll just cut it. We'll say about there. Yeah, I wasn't sure what I was going to make this little piece out of. I think I'm going to make it out of one of these fins off of this extra Mossman, or not Mossman, shit, Merman armor. Again, not perfect, but I am totally happy with that. That'll get the point across. I think that looks enough like this that we can move on. Now, again, I think the last hurdle we have is a sword. Now, I've been going back and forth. Do I use the animated sword or the origin sword? The more I look at this, neither of them seem right. I think I actually need a classic sword. And, like, yeah, it's big enough. I can drill out this so I can put a new hilt in it. Add a jewel, and Bob's your uncle. So, let me get my drill and my drill bit. We'll get this drilled out. Thinking the only thing I really need to do is just try to get the white lace off. I think other than that, I can make it work. But I don't know until I get it off. Alright, so we are going to make Hoodie Prime. This is going to be based on the Classics version, not the DreamWorks, or I think the old one was from the old German comics or something like that. Or maybe it was mini comics. I'm not 100% sure. But again, we are going off of the Classics one. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so one of the first hurdles to overcome is we are using WWE Superstar or Masters of WWE King body, because red and black, and that's Hoodie Prime's colors, red and black. The big thing is that he's only got one hand, which is fine because he doesn't really hold a whole lot. But I would like him to have the other hand. So what I'm going to do is we're going to use. He also has like a weapon that kind of looks similar to this. We're going to use this, but we're going to mount it on this gun peg. We're going to take this claw peg that plugs in here. We're going to take the leftover of this arm. This is Snout Spout's arm. This was left over from when we did strong arm, the kit from Barbarossa Customs. I will link that video at the end of this one. But this was the leftover arm. I'm not gonna be able to use it for anything else, so might as well cut it up and use it for this. Okay, so these are really small parts, so just to give myself a little more to grip onto. Actually, I don't think I need both of these. I'm just gonna use this clamp so I can kind of hold onto it. This is enough on this side, that should be okay. But that way I keep my hands away from the blade. Typically a bandsaw is one of the safer saws you're going to use in the shop because, well, you just kind of have to keep your hand away from this and you're okay. Everything else is encased. So, mom, dad, if you're going to get your kid a saw, have them start out with a bandsaw. It's relatively safe compared to like a table saw or a circular saw or something like that. So we had our two pieces, and these are all, because they were cut on the bandsaw, they're pretty much already scuffed up pretty good. So we don't have to do that. I am going to just glue them on, and it should be okay. This one will be a little easier because I don't really have to keep any of this. And actually, I might be able just to cut that off, cut this fin off. We're going to go ahead and move on to his armor and cape and stuff like that. But in the meantime, before we do that, we're actually going to fix this head, which is most of the way right, except for Product Prime's got some incredible ears. Let's get to them now. So I already have the armor. This is off of Masters of WWE, Randy Savage, I believe. I just need to repaint it. So we can get some reference. That way, made this a little easier. I'm not real sure how to make the belt. Well, I know how to make it, but I'm not real sure on the details of it. Finding that's a little hard, so I might just have to make it up. But we're gonna go ahead and start on the shoulder pieces. Yeah, I just have to make sure I keep them far enough out that the head can still pivot. I think I need to cut off some of this bottom a little bit because it doesn't really seat in there very good. I'm not sure if it's the armor or if it's the head. But actually I can probably do a little bit of both. No, that's so much better. Okay. That's all I need. Now, armor. Okay, let's go. Now, get this off this one. This is my dummy. I have a dummy figure that I've painted and glued and sculpted and all that, and so I like putting stuff like this on him because then if I accidentally glue it to it or whatever, I'm not screwing up the final one. Kind of like a mannequin, you know what I mean? Like, that way I screw this up and not the final one. One thing I'm gonna do is figure out where this is gonna live which is right below the bat wing. And then I'm gonna cut off this edge. One, because then it'll be flatter, and two, because it will scuff it up a little bit and give me a better surface to glue the film onto. So while I'm working on the armor, it came to my attention that I probably should go ahead and dye the arms and legs, because I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be black. Some of it is black, but not all of it. So I'm going to let that heat up. I'm gonna pop. Actually, do I need to pop these off? I'm gonna pop them off. These I'm not gonna worry about popping apart, but yeah, we're just gonna use the regular black. It's actually graphite, synthetic white dye or RIT dye, however you want to call it. Yeah, I don't dilute it or anything. I just put it right in there. Now, I will say, when you are getting this back in, because this is gonna boil, you're gonna boil some of it off. I do add just a little bit of water to what's there, mix it back up, and put it back in the bottle. Should be fine, but yeah, once this is boiling, we'll go ahead and throw arms and legs in there. Go from there. So I was thinking that I had to make the skirt or loincloth or whatever the fuck you want to call it from scratch, but then I found this, and this is to WWE Superstars, Roddy Piper, whatever his name is. I'm pretty sure that's who it's to. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but we should be able to just modify this to get what I want. I think I can make this belt from Hollywood Hulk Hogan fit kind of over top of it. Yep. And I can do the belt details on it, glue it to this, and go from there. Now we wait. These are like a dime a dozen. Or these aren't a dime a dozen. Let me rephrase that. So I'm gonna save this one. You know what? I'm gonna try dyeing the He-Man one. I'm happy with that. I'm not gonna worry about the back because again, it'll be under the cape. Speaking of which, So I made his weapon thing. It's not exact, and I thought I was recording the whole time, but I wasn't. Gonna try new paint. This paint actually works really well. I forgot to seal the foam the first time, so I had to give it a second coat. I had to seal it and give it a second coat. But otherwise, yeah, I'm really happy with this. It's called Chrome, but I'm gonna be testing silver paints in an upcoming video. But it'll probably be next month. One of the only good things about this figure is that, with the exception of his hands, he's entirely black and red. So I forgot when I was doing that silver that the cuff on this arm needs to be silver too. So I gotta mask it off and then spray it. Love having a metal door. So it should be evident by the sword I have here, but we are going to do the movie Shera. Now, this is just concept art done by Mobius? I think that's the guy's name. I think it was Mobius. I'll put it up on the screen. I know Rebecca McDonald has done cosplay of it, which I'm also going to use as reference. So we are going to get started on that. Somehow I put away the legs I need, but that's okay. We're going to start with this. Go from there. Okay, so originally I was going to use the April O'Neil top, but the more I look at it, I'm just going to go with the Tila top, because she's damn near naked, except for like a coat, and I would have to shave off all of this, where I don't have to do that on this one. Got reference now, versus waiting till halfway through. So I am going to use this China head, because her hair is a little frizzier and she's got a bigger forehead. I can sculpt the whatever crown thing on. Okay, so basically this is the plan. We have the legs we want on the torso we want, right? I did the white because that way it'll be a little easier to get to the flesh color. These legs I'm using because, again, she's got a lot of pants and padding and stuff like that. So to me, it's a good excuse to use the knee flap ones that no one really likes anyway. They're going to be painted white. It's not a big deal. I swore that was going to take forever. And that took 5 or 10 minutes. Okay, so I think that's all I need to do with the milliput. We're gonna let all that dry. Then when that's done, we got a couple things we need to do with foam. This is what I'm gonna use, I think, for her loincloth. I might need to modify this a little bit. We have, the milliput is cured. So the only thing I really need to do now is I need to start adding some of the foam bits. Some of like these pieces. Yeah, it's not a whole lot, but that little bit's gonna make a difference. So I've got some foam and we're gonna start cutting and gluing. So I'm not sure why it stopped recording, but I also glued on these little pieces on the arms and legs to be the gold pieces she has on her, as well as the collar around the neck. Let's start on the loincloth now. So I do not have any glitter, which, one, I'm kind of thankful for, and two, I am a little surprised by it. But I do have an idea for this. One of the old tiaras, the new ones come with it too, but the old ones have the bigger sparklies on it. I'm going to try to transplant these onto this. I might have to cut it up in different pieces and like Mod Podge or Mod Podge isn't the word, mosaic it on. Okay, well, that did not work. So, to kind of give the idea, I'm just going to go ahead and use the same black glitter paint I used on the Anti-Eternia Shera, because I think it'll give the impression I want, and it'll probably be the easiest to do. So I don't think I really need to spell this out a whole lot. Yeah, we're making the DreamWorks Shera. I know there's a lot of people who have issues with this show. I am not one of them. I really enjoyed the show. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was fun. Yeah, and I've kind of wanted to make this since I watched it. So that's what we're gonna do today. And we're just using like a regular Shera body. We're gonna use the skirt from the animated one. And kind of go from there. Yeah, like add stuff what you need to add. This shouldn't be too hard, guys. The sword I 3D printed. I need to sand a little bit of it. And that's really about it. It's just gonna need some paint, and then this is good to go. And yeah, so let's get started. So for a cape, I'm just gonna use a standard Shera cape, but I need to cut it off. I'm gonna see if I can find some reference as to how it attaches to her. It doesn't look like it goes around her neck. It kind of looks like it just starts on her back. And if that's the case, then I might just need to figure out a way to creatively attach it to her back. But I'm gonna do some reference first. See, I can't really find any reference, so I'm just gonna make probably just a mounting thing on her back. Can't do anything till the milliput dries, but I think what I'll do is I'll just do like kind of like some kind of strip or something like that. I don't know. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm not sure. Either I'm going to do that, or I'll just glue it to like a piece of this band, and it can just go around her neck. I haven't quite decided yet, but it'll be one of those two things. There's a little spot of glue right there, but this is going to be under the hair, so you won't really see it. And I'm actually really happy with that. But yeah, so now this ring will just go around the neck. But now I'm just still waiting on the milliput to dry. So once it's dry, we can start painting and stuff. I think the only other thing we really need to do is to trim the skirt down, because I don't need these little bits. I'll leave this band because she does have that band, and then I just have to paint a stripe up to match it. If I made the one, I had to make the other. Let's get started. We've already made the one Shera from DreamWorks. I had to make this one. It's different, but I really like it too. So, again, I've already 3D printed the sword. These are just files I found online. Actually, I found this one and the other one on Thingiverse, and they were just free files that I could download. The other one was for a keychain. This one was, I think, actually for like a full-size sword, and I just cropped it down. So, just like the other one, we got some sanding to do. We got a lot of sanding to do because I got to do the boots too and get them flush with her legs. So, yeah. Let's get started. So unlike the last few, I'm not using a Shera head to start with. I'm actually going to use this Tila head. And the reason being is that she's already got the ponytail. I need to carve off the crown she has. Okay, so this is going to take about 24 hours to dry. Once it dries, I can cut off the old ponytail, and I'll insert like probably a little piece of one of these bobby pins, or not bobby pins, stick pins or whatever, into the head, into this, glue it, and yeah, I think this needs to be painted. I don't want to cut off this other one quite yet, just in case, but let's start on all this. So her cape isn't a cape, it's a skirt. And I could do it out of foam, but I think it's going to add too much bulk. So we're actually going to do it out of fabric. This is Superstar WWE Kane's cape. I'm going to cut it down, use it, and I'm going to try just putting some white paint on one side. And I'm hoping that it won't bleed through too much. But if it does, once it dries, I can just paint the other side, and that should be good. All right, so it did bleed through, which is fine. But now it's most of the way dry, so I'm gonna go ahead and paint the other side red. I thought I was filming, and I wasn't, but I put the first coat on the sword and on the hair. So now we just wait. Okay, so I got the little skirt thingy basically done. I had to end up hitting the one side with some spray paint. There's a little bit of bleeding, but this is going to be like curled around like this somewhat. And so once it's there, you won't really notice it as much. I'm going to fine tune this top edge a little bit, and I think that will give me the gold tips too, but I'm not real sure. So yeah, let's go figure this out. So, if you haven't figured it out, I'm going to try to make a swift wind. These are two totally different horses, obviously. I got this one originally for this. And my idea was, I thought it was articulated, and I'm like, oh my God, this is perfect. It's not articulated. Now, the vintage one wasn't. So it's not a big deal. And I already had wings. These are from one of the McFarlane toys, but they're just awesome. And these are articulated. So we just need to drill a hole for whichever one we use. But then I found this one. And I found this one on Temu. Or no, I'm sorry, Alibaba, whatever it's called. And it is articulated, but it's not exactly the right color. So what I want to do is I'm going to try painting this to get a color similar to this. Don't know if that's going to work or not, but we're going to give it a try. And I think by doing that and then adding the armor and horn and stuff like that and adding the wings, I think we can get to where I want to be. If not, we can always add armor and wings to this one. So we might do both. I don't know. I haven't gotten that far. But we're definitely starting with this one. So my idea for painting it is I'm thinking it's already white. So I'm thinking about just using some Mod Podge and mixing it up with some black diamond, silver pearlescent mica powder. I'm not sure if this will work or not. But you can kind of see it already has like a sheen to it. So I'm hoping that'll work. I wish I had like an iridescent. And I thought I did. But I'm not finding it. I might look again. But as of right now, this is what we're going to go with. Okay, so this is what I've come up with. Will this work? Not a clue. But, so we got that silver pearlescent, like I said. I also found this ghost pearl. Ghost blue pearl. We're going to try that. I have a little bit of this color shift paint. It's like metallic. We're going to try throwing that in there with a little bit of silver paint and a little bit of white. We're going to mix that all together. I'm going to try to do some test on something. Probably just a sheet of scrap plastic or something like that. See if I can find something I like. And if I do, then we'll start painting. So, I have no idea if that's going to work or not, but that paint's got to kind of dry almost all the way. Okay, so I've done 2 coats, and it doesn't really come across on camera. Well, I guess it does a little bit. It is more pearlescent than it was, but it's not as pearlescent as I want. So I have gone ahead and just mixed some plain clear satin Mod Podge with just the mica powders. I did a little bit of both, mix it up, and once this dries all the way, we're gonna go ahead and paint this on, see if that gives us the finish we want. Okay, my hope is that once the Mod Podge dries, it dries clear, and so all the mica powder should activate and be pearlescent. Hopefully. He's not even all the way dry, and you can already see the difference. Like, he's not as much as this one, but it's definitely close. So I'm happy with that. Actually, I might not have to sand. I might just try doing a clear coat and see if that maybe like balances out the finish a little bit. But again, I gotta wait till this dries. Okay, so I haven't clear coated it yet. I've touched up the pearlescent paint a little bit. I'm gonna hold off on clear coating it because I'm probably gonna need to do it to everything. That being said, these are the wings we're gonna use. So these are from McFarlane I forget what this is, like Ravenger, or I don't know. I think they're actually the same wings that go on Hawkman from the DC Multiverse line. I could be wrong on that, but if not, they're very similar. These are, like I said, articulated, but only up and down. Well, technically, you'll put a peg in them, and they'll be able to rotate too. But, yes. That being said, we need to figure out how we're doing this. So, I, like normal, jumped in and didn't print out any reference. So I was looking, and the pink horse that I keep referencing, that I'm like, oh, this would be perfect. It would be perfect for the vintage toy. The vintage toy and the cartoon do not look alike. And now we have, the vintage toy that looks like this. We have the Filmation one, which looks like this. And the DreamWorks one that looks like this. Well, I'm not doing the DreamWorks one. And while I like the vintage one, like when I think of Swiftwind, I think of the Filmation one. So that's what we're gonna go with. So that means that we have to paint these wings yellow, pink, and then blue. So I'm gonna try to figure out how exactly I want to do that, because it should follow some of the feathers in some way. And then once I figure it out on one wing, I can figure it out on the other wing. Okay, I might need to touch up the orange a little bit, or the copper. I don't know, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But I'm good with it for right now. We are going to move on to start painting the wings. Now, I want good coverage quick. So I'm going to go ahead and use this Montana Gold Pure Yellow. I used this on the, who was it? Gygor. This is the same color I used on him. I know I used it on something else too. I just can't remember what it was. But this will allow me to get the yellow covered very quickly. And then after it dries, I can take it up to more of an orangey yellow rather quickly. So we're going to go ahead and hit this real quick. I'll be right back. All right. Just got to let those dry. Shouldn't take too long. Okay, so we had a little bit of mishap. I was repositioning this, and the leg broke. Now, with some 3D filament, you could fix this, theoretically. I've done it with Origin figures, and it's worked okay. But as of right this second, I don't have any. So, what I'm going to do is this leg's just going to permanently be straight, which is fine. I'm just gonna drill a couple holes in this, put some pins in both sides, glue it, paint it, and it should be fine. I'm gonna use some 5-minute epoxy just because it should be a little more flexible. Okay, so I have to touch up a little bit, but for the most part, the wings are done. Now, we need to get to the harness and the face mask and the horn. Look at the photo here. To do that, the harness and the faceplate, I'm just going to use foam. The horn will probably be milliput, but I'm not 100% sure yet. But let's get started. I think that worked out perfectly. And these little holes that were already there, that's just perfect. So now I just need to paint these. Once I paint these, I can go ahead and touch up the wings a little bit. And then the only other thing I have to do is paint the seat, mount the wings. I think we're done. Oh, I gotta touch up some of the paint on the face, obviously. I got some other touch-ups I gotta do too. Feet, stuff like that. But big stuff, big stuff. That's what I was talking about. So I thought I was recording, but I got the saddle painted. I recorded mixing the color, but not actually painting it. I thought I was. That's done. I gotta do the trim. And I gotta paint the horn. Oh, and I gotta add, I don't like the yellow. I want it to be a little more orangey. That's why I got this. So we're gonna touch that up, paint the horn, and do the trim. That's about it. We're right there, guys. We're right there. I'm sure you have questions. Questions like, why do you have two bodies? Why do you have two heads? Why do you have two everything? So, this is the last one for Shera month, and I'm thinking about doing the animated one with, all of her parts. Missing an arm. There it is. And making up what I think Mattel or a comic book version would be. So this one, with the exception of the head, I tried 3D printing one. I couldn't get it to work, but I'm going to try one more time. If not, then we're just going to use this head, and I'm just going to have to get the crown off and kind of fill in with some milliput. Not a big deal. This one is going to be, they're both really going to be repaints. This one's going to have more sculpting than this one. This one, I got a lot of figuring out what I want it to look like. That being said, nothing to do but get started. All right, so for the boots, I think, I'm not positive. I'm not sure how the gold's going to do, but I think I should be able to dye them. And while I might not get them 100% the gold or the red color I want, I should be able to get them to a good base color. And that way, it's not as big of a transition when I add paint. So we're just going to use the red dye like we normally do and go from there. I'm also going to dye the shorts on this because, again, I might not get it to the red I want, but it'll at least get it closer when I need to add paint. So I just need to separate these. The boots turned out amazingly. We are going to throw a little bit of red over it to kind of balance out some of this because some of it's a little darker than others. But on all, I'm happy with them. Okay, so I think all our sculpting, dyeing, all that stuff is done. Literally, we just got to paint now. Okay, I'm going to use these Tila boots. I think these are the animated ones, but I'm not sure. But I'm going to leave the white. And I'm going to paint the red, the same red as everything else. So, yeah. And that was it, guys. That was a long video.
Hopefully you guys watched the whole thing. If you did, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. These are all live if you need to, right?